I feel like for the past couple of days when I've tried to shoot a video, it's been raining outside, which kind of sucks, but it will not stop us. What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome to The Average Investor, where anyone can build wealth, even the average investor. And in today's video, we are going to be debunking and We're going to be debunking and myth-busting myths about the stock market. Before we get into that, if you are a returning subscriber, I love you. Thank you so much for the support, but we do have to address that there's a lot of people that are not subscribed to the YouTube channel. So if this is your first time coming to The Average Investor, definitely hit that subscription button. Also, do not forget to like the video because this will help push the video to tons of more people, so it'll help me out a ton. Thank you. The first myth that we have to address is only rich people invest in the stock market. I think of this type of thing kind of as like the chicken and the egg sequence, where like which came first, because you probably know a ton of people that are wealthy that also invested in the stock market. But what you probably don't know is that these people probably grew their wealth within the stock market. Like, you don't walk into a gym and see a ripped person go, oh, this gym's only for ripped people. They probably weren't as shredded as they were when they started out. They might have started when they were overweight, but then they slowly gained their fitness and their shredding and their cutting over time. Same thing with the stock market. Just because you're not a millionaire to start off with doesn't mean you can't get in the game. In fact, you guys can actually start investing with $1. I'm not kidding, literally $1. You can go down in the description, go to the public link, sign up with that, and you can start investing today with $1. I will also link, boom, right here, I will link a video doing a step-by-step guide of how you can start investing as a complete beginner. You don't have to have any knowledge, any prior experience within the stock market. And again, $1. I'm pretty sure anyone can go pick up $1 off the ground or work for $1. So you do not have to be rich and wealthy in order to get into the stock market. The stock market is not for just the rich and wealthy. This is how you can go and get rich and wealthy. The second myth that we have to debunk and get out the way is all stocks and investing in the stock market is gambling. Now, I say this hesitantly as a myth because is hesitantly even a word? Now, I say this hesitantly because on TikTok and all over social media, you see these people doing massive option plays and gambling all of their money on these meme stocks. That form of investing is more like gambling than it is investing. As a solo investor with just your phone as your equipment, or maybe even your computer, it's going to be very challenging to know exactly which way the market is going, even if you are doing an analysis. So it is going to be very challenging to time the market and know like this meme stock is going to take off. Obviously, it has happened in the past, but that is more gambling than it is investing. And the good news is it doesn't have to be like that. I understand you're working hard for your money. You don't want to put your money in something where it's going to just evaporate into thin air. I completely understand that. There are ways to invest in the stock market where it is not gambling. And for example, again, I'm not a financial advisor, but index funds, which are a collection of ton of different businesses and stocks combined, they're going to be really, really well diversified. So if one of the companies crashes, it's going to be okay because your money is spread out across a ton of different companies, meaning that since you are diversified, there's going to be less risk, which is great because then you don't necessarily have to gamble and put everything on the line to lose everything on the line. That's just not going to be worth it. I think there's too much of a focus of, wow, how quickly can I make so much money? How much can I gain in a week to show off to my friends, to put on, TikTok, to put on social media, instead of looking at it, how can I preserve my wealth? Though the market will have its ups and downs, I don't care if you're investing in bonds or if you're investing in index funds, if you're investing in a meme stock, it's going to have its ups and downs. However, it doesn't have to be gambling. If you guys could comment below something that scares you or is a myth that keeps you out of the stock market, or if there was something that scared you, but you overcame that fear and now you're in the stock market, that'd be super helpful for me to know. Third myth that we are going to tackle is cash is better. Do not get me wrong, cash is absolutely necessary. You should build up an emergency fund before you start investing so you don't have to dip into your investments if a tire pops, if your car breaks down, or if an emergency comes up. You need to pay for that with cash. That's when cash is key. But guys, there are two sayings that I absolutely love about cash. And the first one is bank money, don't make money. And the second one is cash is trash. So if you're someone with a ton of money that is just sitting in the bank and you're like, I do not want to invest it, I don't want to lose any of this money, believe me, the money that is sitting in the bank is making a fraction, and I mean fraction of a percent of how much you could be making in the stock market. And in fact, the bad news is you're actually losing money to inflation. You're losing that buying power over time to the inflation when we're printing more money. So if anything, from an investment standpoint, you're actually losing your buying power over time, as opposed to if you put your money in the stock market and real estate into a business and you're using that cash as a tool, that's when cash is actually better. But cash alone just sitting there is pretty weak. Just to recap, if you have that emergency fund built up on the side, that's when cash is going to be key. And if you need some money in your checking account for your monthly expenses, that's also okay. But for everything else, I would look to invest that so you're not necessarily losing anything to inflation. The fourth myth that I want to go over, and I hear this one all the time, and it's I can confidently time the market, or I'm going to wait until the next market crash, or I'm gonna look at this analysis and put in a ton of money before it takes off. Now, it's going to completely depend on your risk tolerance and what type of investing / dare I say day trading that you want to get into. But I can tell you, for me personally, I really don't like all the stress and all the strain that comes along with it. I'm much more of a set it and forget it long-term investor, so this is not an option in my mind. Again, we have to think about this on a large scale. You're one retail investor against these massive whales. They have millions, billions, and even trillions of dollars that they can be putting into the market. So you sitting on your phone, unless you're a quadrillionaire, unless you're Elon Musk and you can tweet out and completely change a market, it's going to be very, very tough to time the market. But then I get the question, okay, but what if the market is at an all-time high and then in the next month it's going to crash down to the ground, and then the next month it's going to be at an all-time high again, and you're trying to time it? Don't do that. Do something called dollar cost averaging. For example, let's say you have $100 that you're looking to invest this year. Instead of investing all that money in January, let's break it up into monthly increments, so you're buying at the high, the mediums, the lows, and then it's going to average out over time. This way, if you're super consistent, it's not going to matter if we're at an all-time high or an all-time low. It doesn't matter, because you're going to be buying everything in between. Especially if you're making automatic payments, this is going to take out the entire emotional side of this trading and investing, where you're getting greedy and you want more, or you're freaking out and you got to panic sell. This is going to eliminate all of that, and you're only going to look at the numerical value every single month that is going out of your bank account. Again, this is what I personally use in terms of my investment strategy, but if you have something similar or completely different that you think is along the same basis, please leave them down in the comments. I would love to learn from you guys. The fifth and the final myth that we need to address is I need to be a stock market expert before I get into the market. Guys, I can confidently say I do not know everything in the stock market. If anything, I know such a minor aspect of it, but that doesn't mean that you guys still cannot make money in. I am consistently and constantly learning about the stock market. Good things that I want to pursue more of, and bad things that I'm like, I won't touch that with a 10-foot pole. But the point being, don't let this be a restriction or a holdback from you getting into the market. This is another reason why I love broad index funds. And if you guys have not seen my top 5 index funds, run over to that video after this video, because they're my top 5 favorite. You don't want to miss out on them. But I love them so much that I don't have to know all the stocks that are out there. I don't have to know all the companies that are killing the game. I can invest in the entire stock market with one click of the mouse, and boom, I have all these companies, and if one of them fails, it's going to be okay. I don't need to know why is this one failing. I don't need to look at all their financial reports and data. You can do that, but again, don't let that be a hesitation from you getting into the market. You can always start with something small, 5, 10, even $1, getting into the market, learning about it as you go along, and then once you feel comfortable and knowledgeable about the stock market, you can then put more money in when you're more confident. Guys, there's so much noise and so many myths out there about the stock market. Hopefully this video gave you some light and some positivity and maybe some confidence behind you taking that first step into the stock market. If you guys enjoyed this video, definitely do not forget to subscribe to the YouTube channel. I would greatly appreciate that. Also, give a massive thumbs up and destroy that like button to push this to more people, so we can destroy all those myths for all these new people. I'm also really proud of myself because this will be my second upload of the week, so little pat on the back there. But I hope you guys learned something in today's video, and I also hope you have a great rest of the day. I want to see you back on this channel soon. Bye, guys.